All right, we're rolling. Hello and welcome back to another little random video where I share my thoughts and things that I just feel like sharing with people. And if you're here listening, thank you for being here. Today, I have a topic that means a lot to me that I want to talk about, and I wanted to settle in a bit more, which is why I have the incense going and I got a cup of lemon balm tea, nice and calming. And the topic I want to talk about today is if you're somebody like me who has this perspective of life that life is short. That is something that I have, let's just say, struggled with my entire life. Ever since I was a kid, I always had this perspective that life is short. When I was young, I experienced a lot of family members dying at young ages. My grandparents passed away, all of my aunts and uncles, and yeah, just all my extended relatives. And it was really sad. I was going to funerals all the time. And yeah, I just remember being in the church and seeing their lifeless body lying in the casket at the front, and just, I don't know, I think experiencing that over and over again kind of just gave me this perspective that we're all gonna die one day and life is short. And over time, that has led to a lot of existential angst, let's say, because I've created this perspective in my mind that life is so short, what's the point? You know, if we all know we're gonna die eventually, what's the point of anything? What's the point of doing anything? If we're put here, we don't know why, we don't know what's happening, and then we just die at the end. It's a really depressing situation we're all in. And that mindset has been with me for as long as I can remember, but it's not all doom and gloom. It's not like I'm 100% of the time feeling depressed. But it's definitely a perspective that I think it affects how I see the world, and it affects the decisions I make in life and all this stuff. I just feel like life goes so fast, time moves so quickly, we're all gonna die. What's the point of anything? It's even affected me in terms of do I want to have a family one day? Well, if I do have a family, it's gonna go by like that, and then I'm gonna die, so what's the point anyway? You know, it's really affected a lot of things in my life. And if you're anything like that, or if you ever have those thoughts of oh my god, life just goes so quickly, what is the point? Then this video is for you, because I will tell you, I don't know what it is, but over time, especially the past couple months, maybe because it's summer and things are lighter and I'm busier and things are just, more enjoyable in summer. You have things to do. Winter is dark and depressing. And, if you have seasonal depression, it can be really hard. But I will say recently in summer, I've developed this mindset and this perspective that it's really just this realization I had that life is not actually short. That is just one perspective of it. You can completely flip the coin to the other side and say that life is actually long. Because think about it. Think about all of the experiences that we have in a lifetime. There are so many things that we experience over the course of a human life, no matter how long our life is. If we're fortunate to live longer than, let's say, the age of 50, that's decades of experiences and memories with people. And there's so much in that time that I just think another way to look at it all is to be whoa, it's actually really long. We actually have a lot of time, and we have a lot, this has been coming up for me in so many ways. I have so many examples. I want to try to remember them all. I was at a park the other day with my family, and we were visiting this park that apparently is the second largest place for bird watching in the US. And the field had a bunch of milkweed, And that's what monarch butterflies feed off of. It's like their sole source of food. And the guy was telling us all this stuff about monarch butterflies and how they travel from like the south to Canada, and like they just do so much in their life, and their lifespan is like a month. Like they're only on Earth for like a month, and they do so much. And like whenever I hear about the lifespan of certain animals or insects or whatever, of just non-humans, it always makes me take a step back and be like, whoa, like, okay, we actually have a lot of time. Again, like if we're lucky to live even just decades on this earth, that's a lot more than other living things. And that's actually a lot of time to do things and to just experience life, you know? Like maybe there is no goal in all of this. Maybe there's no goal to like find your purpose or to have your whole life culminate in some meaningful thing. Maybe the point, or maybe this whole thing is about just being alive and experiencing time on Earth, however much time we have. And this perspective has really helped me a lot because it really goes against everything that I thought before, which is just that like life is short. All my loved ones are gonna die. I'm gonna die. What's the point of anything? Like time moves so quickly. But think about how many memories you have in your life. Like if you have like a childhood home that you grew up in that you no longer live at, like have you ever like driven by it or like thought about it or seen old pictures, and then all these memories start flooding back to you of like things you used to do there? Like this house, in this house I used to like spend all my Christmases. We would wake up on Christmas morning and go down the steps, and then like the big window would be right there next to the tree, and then we would do little Easter egg hunts outside, and the mailbox was right here. Like all of those things are memories. And like if you break that down, all of that stuff is just like little moments over time. And those are the things that make life meaningful. Like these little moments in your day are what make life feel rich and feel meaningful. And life is really just like an infinite amount of those moments, right? Like we have so many of those moments in one single day. Like if you have one day where it's just like a really good day, like maybe it's like your birthday and you do something special and you wake up and you go to your favorite cafe and you see your friends and you like go to the park or whatever. That's like such a wonderful thing to experience as a human on this earth. And think about how many of those we get in a lifetime, you know? Like, I know there's those quotes online that say like, there's actually this one that I used to really like, but it kind of goes back to the mindset of like how limited life is, because it would say like, how many more, I'll put it here in like a little image, but it says something about like, how many more sunsets are you gonna see? Or how many more sunrises? Or how many more times are you gonna say goodbye to your loved ones? It's like, it's kind of saying like you have to appreciate it because everything is so finite and everything is gonna end. But that's still like a little bit of a sad perspective. I'm starting to think of it as like, wow, I've had all of these moments to be with my loved ones, and I'm gonna get so many more. Like how great is that? Like it really is like a practice in gratitude. And I know gratitude, I feel like that word is so overused now that people probably just roll their eyes at it. Like, just be grateful. Like, life is so great. That's not really what I'm saying, but I'm just trying to say that like, life doesn't have to be short. Like, yes, that's one perspective. And that is also accurate if you look at it that way. Like, yes, we only have X amount of years on Earth. But at the same time, it's just as equally accurate to say life is long and we have X amount of years on Earth, you know? And another way this has come up recently is one of my cousins recently passed away the past couple weeks. It was like a second cousin. So we went to her funeral last week, and so the woman who died, it was her sister's daughter who I was talking to. And the woman who passed away, her and her sister were really close, and they were like really close in age too. And I was asking my cousin, like, oh, how's your mom doing? Like, how's she dealing with everything? Because it's her sister who passed away, and that's really hard. And she said, you know what? My mom is she's really good at just having perspective. And the way she's looking at this is like, I had 79 years with her. Like, that's what her perspective is. So the sister of the woman who passed away, her perspective was like, of course she's sad, of course she's grieving, but she's also keeping this perspective of like, I had 79 years with my sister. Like, that's a wonderful thing. And she just feels really grateful for that. And I thought that was such a powerful thing to hear, because I just, knowing myself, like, I get so swallowed up in grief and sorrow and sadness about things, about how everything is finite and people die and life is short and all that. But like, that was just such a beautiful perspective for me to hear, that like, wow, she's right. She got decades and decades. She got 79 years with her sister. And I feel like the more that I've had this mindset recently, the more that life has felt like juicy and delicious. Like, I feel like I can savor life more by having this perspective, because it's making me feel like extra aware of the little things in my day that bring me joy. Like, I don't know, like making a cup of hot tea that I enjoy, or like listening to a song that I really like, or having like a really good day with friends. Like, that's like my favorite thing. If I'm just like doing something with my friends, and I've been doing that a lot recently because it's summer and there's so much to do and all that. And even just like one day of that, like one really rich day where you're just like with your friends and everything feels great. Like, to me, I've just been thinking like, wow, I'm so lucky to have so many of those days in my lifetime. Because I remember when I had days like that in like elementary school, middle school, high school, college, after college. Like, my whole life has been punctuated with like these wonderful days. But it's not just about these like wonderful days where you have fun. It's about like every single moment in life that's just like doing something you enjoy. And I feel like now, everywhere I look, I'm seeing like reminders of how rich my life has been. Like, even this mug, when I was grabbing this mug to put my tea in, this is one of my favorite mugs, and it has memories in it because I got this from Pearl Harbor when I visited Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. And it's one of my favorite mugs, and every time I look at it, I think about that trip. I think about being there with my best friend and what it was like to be at Pearl Harbor and to see the memorial and everything. And that's just like one experience in my life that's like such a meaningful thing to me. But that's just one thing. And it's like, think about how many of those we get in a lifetime. It's just a really different perspective of how I've always viewed life. But life has just felt so much more rich now that I'm like choosing to see it that way. So I hope that you found this interesting like I did. If you're somebody who has had that mindset before of like, life is short, like what's the point of anything? Just let me know what your thoughts are about all of this. I would love to hear it as always. And yeah, that's all for this video. Thanks for listening if you watched it this far. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.